Honestly, I didn't really think this was gonna happen. And now that it is, it's just, I'm like on cloud nine. I'm so excited. When it comes down to it, everyone has an insecurity about losing their hair. My name is Jim and I'm 39 years old. Since my mid-20s, I've been experiencing hair loss and it's just, progressively gotten worse. Every time I leave the house, I have to adjust my hair and I constantly notice when I'm walking around, I'll look in store mirrors and make sure my, receding hairline isn't showing.
You can tell that he is remembering when he had full hairline and how happy it made him. He didn't need to tell me what area of his scalp I needed to work on.
Vinay comes off as very real and genuine, and I know that he truly wants to help me and truly cares about making me, feel good and get the result that I want.
I have to remember that a year from today, I'm gonna talk to this person again. Am I gonna make them happy?
Everyone pretty much knows that this has been an insecurity of mine for years now, and I'm just very excited to finally feel like myself again.
So in gym, we're gonna be doing two things. Number one, we'll be building an internal hairline of darker hair, so we're gonna give them that nice, full, dense look. But then outside of that inner hairline, we're gonna build a second hairline in front of it to give him a nice feathered look of lighter colored hairs. His hairs that we're dealing with are a little bit thinner, so we have to put more hairs in. We're gonna achieve less density overall, so be very careful how this is going to be executed. Second, Jim is 39 right now, and in reality, there's going to be more recession. We have to design his procedure such that it's going to look good when he walks out or he's happy, and it's also going to look good in 10 to 15 years as it ages.
Tell me where we are and why we're here.
I can't really see where we are right now, so we got these loops on. But yeah, this is our barbershop. It's downstairs from our clinic. We adopted it because, when you get your hair cut, that's probably the one thing that's most about your transplant. So we had this barber, made a connection with him, and immediately our hair cuts got better.
We'll figure it out.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna take these off. They're not necessary for this. How tall are you? 6'1", 6'2"?
6'1".
Okay, that's good. All right, this is actually one of the funnest parts of I think this is the most important part of the procedure. Basically, we design a hairline, a couple things. Number one, the face is split into thirds, the chin to the bottom of the nose. So he's about 8 centimeters. The bottom of the chin to the eyebrow, so about 8 centimeters there, and then eyebrow to the hairline. And a lot of people would say that's where Jim's hairline should be. Now, you imagine he had a little bit lower hairline when he was younger. That's fine, but facial proportion wise, he's appropriate right there. Second, when we turn Jim to the side, we can design the sides. Here, if we do by measurements, there's ways to do this. It's the front of the ear to the side of the eye is 7. We go half of that is where the sideburn should be, so 3.5. That's where sideburn is right now. If we go to the top of the eyebrow across, you should see that's where the side eyebrow ends. So a nice little line. And then we can follow the curve for the muscle here. So Jim, I'm gonna have you bite down a couple times. You can feel this muscle right on the side. Keep biting. Then we just draw out lines straight up from the side of the eye, up. Right about there. And this was Jim's essentially original hairline. Just like that. Now, if Jim walked out here with that hairline, he would look awesome. He would look like he's 30 years old and like nothing happened. But you don't want to do that because you can see in Jim himself, something's happened here. His temples have already started to recess normally. If you start doing hair here, you're going to come to that hairline for the rest of his life. So the way I like to do it is actually start from the future. We're going to figure out where Jim's hairline is going to end up and where all his hair is going to be when he's done. All right, so let's see what happens. This is where Jim's hair is ultimately going to be in this little dotted line here. If you did this entire restoration, he would eventually start developing a gap in this entire area. This will look good, but very quickly it would age into and unnatural spots. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go and erase. What would have been the wrong thing to do. Now we're gonna draw what a natural crown would look like. This is just shaping this such that Jim more to lose more hair, that the crown, the back part of this would develop naturally. With this line we have two things. These hairs are nice and healthy. They can be transferred up to the top. We know they're gonna live. Any hair on top of here, we already feel like it's thinning, or we can see it's thinning, or even with the camera, we can like totally tell. Transferring these hairs makes no sense. So a lot of procedures, people accidentally transfer hairs that aren't going to survive. And that's how we get to the graft counts like 5,000, 6,000. It's just not gonna work. So we like to stick with the hairs we know are gonna work. We want nice consistent results. We want them to last. So we're gonna stick to the pattern that we see here of where the hairs are healthy. And that's also the final line we need to consider when developing Jim's hairline. How's it gonna look once it ages? We don't wanna do this. We're probably gonna come develop a swoop from the back. So before I do that, I'm gonna have Jim stand up. Now Jim is 6'1". When I look at Jim, the furthest I can see back on his scalp is here, and I'm 6 foot tall. That means we need to get from that initial dot in the facial proportions to that back dot where people look at Jim and say, this looks normal. So if you sit back down, we'll take a look, and it says right here, if you look back again, Jim, I'm looking at where I made his crown, and then I'm looking for this other line. Actually, his line's really short. It's like right here. So most people, when they look at Jim, only see that much. Now we can creep this back. You can see this is where his crown naturally is. So, but most of our reconstruction should only needs to focus up to here from a result standpoint. But we do know that our crown's gonna develop and we wanna fill this in at some point as well. Now we go on to design the hairline. So along the sides, I'm gonna start developing a curve that'll look natural as he ages. So you can see this hair here will eventually recess. And if we built a hairline here, it would develop a gap. So we're gonna come around the back, and this is gonna be the back end of it. Okay, bud, so this is two different shapes of the hairline. This one is more aggressive, right? This side it's more rolling, right? It flows. So the difference here, this one looks less aggressive. But as you age, the angles on the side here, like this was an angle straight before, became smoother, right? So this actually ages better. Okay. Do you have a preference for one of the shapes?
I would prefer more aggressive.
More aggressive?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll deal with it. I'll deal with it later.
But I'm gonna show you something. To make the other side more aggressive is literally 3 to 4 millimeters. This usually takes me like an hour in the morning. I should have a camera for me all the time. How's that look compared to the other side?
Perfect.
Yeah, see how small that is?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's the same thing here. That line that I drew here before, I even moved this further back because it's not gonna make a difference. You have solid hairs up to here. Yeah. Probably down there. In fact, the further we can push this back, the better, because we can save grafts. Next step is pretty cool. This is what Jim's facial proportion line was at here. This is actually the hairline that we drew because we don't need to be that far forward. When he stood up, when I looked him in the face, I can only see this far back on his scalp because how little that is. And you can see his crown is back here. So in his, and instead of in the sides again, we have his future hairline recession. So in the future, he's probably gonna look, he's gonna have to fill in all these spots. So in a hairline procedure, we want to do enough to like make him very, very happy, but to also preserve for the future. So we're probably gonna go just a little beyond that. But you can see Jim's thinning is, people are looking at him from this angle and they're not hitting solid hairs until this point. So we know he has to come back that far. Same thing on this side. You can't see solid hairs up to this point. Internally, you see nice thick hairs here and nice thick hairs here. So we need to build an internal hairline like this, where people just see a nice solid wall of thick hairs all the way throughout. And since Jim's hairs are kind of moderate density and light, we're actually gonna build our single hairs over here. So I'll put single hair grafts here, single hair grafts there, but then really start packing in the density here such that no one can see beyond that wall. And depending on how many grafts we have, this will probably be like 2,100. We can start doing some future proofing. But the key is we need to leave enough hairs in the back of the head for Jim to fill in all these other spots, which is why we don't go too aggressive today. But at 6'1", the really nice benefit if people aren't seen too far back. If that makes sense to you? So you got the hairline, right?
Yeah.
Nice inner grafts. You have like these kind of thicker pieces of hair here and here. Build really good density into that little spot with the double hair grafts. Put the singles here and then start feathering back the opposite direction. Doubles, singles to back to the crown.
Sweet.
So when someone looks at you, they're gonna see all that hair,
Awesome.
right? Be nice and dense coming out of the scalp like that.
What are you doing right now?
Well, I have a couple different drugs, protection, antibiotics, a little sedative, Valium, a little painkiller in case it's good stuff.
So long.
So your hair looks different from yesterday.
Oh yeah. It's got that like 90s look.
Reminiscent of anybody?
Yeah, a little Vanilla Ice action.
Is this how you're planning to style it a year from now?
Yes. No. No, I'm excited for this to go back.
I don't really know.
Wait. I'm gonna wait till the chorus.
Oh, I've heard this, yeah. Not exciting me at all. Wow, really? That's music?
Or you know the song Landslide,
No. We can go play the next.
or Go Your Own Way, that's a big one.
Really?
Walk with me.
How do you guys feel about listening to Fleetwood Mac thing?
He goes, what's Fleetwood Mac?
Oh, Max. You can have a seat right over here.
CD mix? Oh my gosh.
Here.
The chord?
But you want to take this chord here. Both of these. And hang up from the top here.
You think?
Yeah.
You are so smart.
That's right, man, I'm Indian. You can do?
Try this one. This one's a little thicker.
Yeah, I like it. That vibration, it's just like, I think it's huge. Like, I don't understand like why people really don't understand like why shaking a graft helps like loosening attachment versus like yanking it out. It just makes no sense. The suction just holds it like a rag.
What do you mean by shaking the graft?
Usually it's just like a sharp spinning blade that just goes down the shaft and has to like cut the whole thing. But then you get that bottom part that never gets cut.
I didn't really know what to expect, but it was pretty easy. I was just passed out the whole time. You can use that red light thing at work.
Yeah, do you have it? You have access to it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, And it's at least once a week.
Okay. Will it just help with healing?
Helps the healing, plus stimulates the follicles while we're doing this.
Oh, cool.
The best part.
Do you want to see like the actual graft of how we make them on?
Barely.
Never done a long race. I have to do
What's up?
We're waiting for Jim to arrive. First time you've seen him in 6 months.
Yeah, Jim's, I want to see what his results look like.
What do you think?
We'll see. I mean, he seemed pretty happy on the phone the other day. You know, a couple months ago he was in the shock loss phase and he was a little down, but then he perked right up when he started seeing the growth. So let's see what it looks like.
Have you seen him since the procedure?
No. Well, actually, we saw him like 2 weeks after the procedure, obviously for his shampoo and stuff, but we haven't seen each other. We've been talking by text, and yeah, Jim's. I'm really interested to see what's this is going to look like. So it's still early, so it could go either way. Like, hey, is the hair there? Is it not? You know? Ooh, look at this.
How are you?
That looks good.
I know. I'm so pumped. You know, it's an exciting feeling seeing that I have a hairline again.
Is that for me?
Yeah, right. Some bubbles.
Nice.
Thank you.
Let's just drink it now.
I felt like I woke up one day and just saw like the immediate results, almost like it happened overnight. Let's save that. Do it like when you have your wife have a fun night.
There's no fun nights in my house anymore.
I opted when Vinay and I were doing the consultation. I opted on the more severe hairline, and I don't regret that.
With Jim's procedure, I gave him a choice between conservative and aggressive, but they're actually both conservative hairlines.
Vinay, I was sending this to this guy on Reddit. This was before procedure.
Yeah.
And then this was the other day in my bathroom.
Dude, it's like a bush.
And that's with like no product, like nothing in there.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So I was like,
Damn, it was like that?
yeah.
His hairline is going to last a lifetime where it is. And it's aggressive in his eyes. That's because he got to choose it.
I haven't seen my hair look like that since I was like 24.
Oh my gosh, wait, this is amazing.
I know.
I really like how our practice is kind of structured to be high touch with all our patients. So I think Jim texted me, it was like 1:30 in the morning. And he was like, hey, it's like the 4-month mark. And I knew at the 4-month mark, I knew what kind of text was going to come in. And that's like, hey, we're going through the shedding phase. Yeah. That's when you were freaking out at me.
This was legit. This was
He
legit.
called me. He's like, dude, what the hell you doing? The hair's like falling out. He's like, yeah, Jim, I sent an instruction.
I was shocked that every day, I mean, it wasn't just a text, it was, you know, step-by-step instructions on what the recovery is.
It's easier for you to call me directly and talk to me for 5 minutes versus you to call the office, talk to the front desk, them to call me to find time to call you, and then us talk. Like, it's just like, just call me directly. Like, this is exactly how I love doing things, and that's why the practice probably will never deviate from that.
Basically, since the procedure, I haven't worn a hat once.
And I can't remember the last time I haven't seen Jim without a hat on. So it's kind of exciting just that, you know, he is getting to live his life with his hairline that he's wanted, and just knowing that we're only halfway there. Like, the hair growth has just started at 6 months. Like, we still have another 6 months of growth to go, plus the opportunity to do all this augmentation with PRPs and whatever else comes on the horizon. So it's just a fun time to meet people at 6 months to see where the start is. But I'm still looking for more. All right, now we're ready for round 2. It's been 8 months since Jim's hair restoration, and he's just starting to feel that stubble, meaning that his hairs are growing in place, and we need to start our ACS PRP treatment so we can further stimulate growth. This is something we actually added on well after micro was developed because we wanted to stimulate the hair so we can get more volume, but we realized, hey, while we're doing this, we can actually work on the entire scalp and get a better result overall. So we're gonna start that on Jim today. Little words about Jim. He's been really anxious about seeing results over the last 8 months. I think I told him it takes 2 to 12 months to sometimes see things come together. In case you guys are considering hair restoration, it takes 2 to 12 months to see your results. So don't worry, they will come in and it's gonna look great.
So what does it do? Does it like make the density stronger?
Yeah, like, well, right now, like the hairs are just like starting to get into their growth phase, right? You just kind of start seeing. So,
Yeah.
well, PRP has a lot of growth factors, and we're hoping that at the time those hairs want to grow, combining with growth factors will kind of stimulate them to kind of accelerate that path, and maybe some that are maybe a little bit dormant can wake up more.
Oh, okay.
But PRP, what it is like platelets are normal cells in your blood, and plasma is just a liquid part of the blood.
Right.
Platelets normally go to like cuts, and whenever you get an injury, and they release all their growth factors to start the healing process. So new blood vessels getting formed, new collagen being laid down, skin cells, hair cells replicate, closing up a wound. So we're going to take those platelets right now, isolate them, concentrate them, inject them right there, and then release these growth factors. We actually see them release while we're doing the procedure. And then hopefully we get more growth. But the whole idea behind micros is like, whatever it takes, man. Yeah.
Cool.
So do like 3-4 sessions of this. And it's also all this area that we didn't address back here, right?
Yeah.
Is also what we're going to stimulate today. So we'll try to get this beefed up. Today, we're going to talk about one of my favorite procedures, ACS, or autologous cellular serum. Remember, this is a more advanced form of PRP, or platelet-rich plasma. In ACS, we're collecting cells out of the blood that are normally involved with wound healing. They're called platelets. Platelets release growth factors in areas of cuts that allows new blood vessels to grow, new collagen to be deposited, new hair and skin cells to grow and close up a wound. So when we're in the office, we're going to draw your blood, collect your platelets, and inject them in the scalp, where they're going to create a perfect healing environment for your hairs to allow them to grow to the thickest amount they can without a hair transplantation. So today we have Jim here, who's volunteered to do an ACS treatment. We're going to walk him through what the process is. Now, I tell you this, a lot of people are used to hearing the words PRP. And again, this is a little bit more advanced form of PRP. So I always use the terminology PRP because, number one, it slips out of my mouth after so many years. Number two, because it's what Jim's used to hearing as well. All right, so it goes inside this chamber. Put all the blood on the top. And then eventually the chamber is going to separate into liquid and the cells. That's cool. So ACS, or autologous cellular serum, is a treatment that originated in orthopedics. Orthopedic surgeons were using PRP many, many years ago to help with joint regeneration. And in this time, they have perfected PRP into a process called ACS. So I want you to think about this. When we do PRP for the scalp, we actually have a lot of area to cover. We need a lot of volume of PRP to make sure we cover everything. However, when orthopedic surgeons inject PRP into the joints, they only have a very little bit of space. And because of that, they've really been able to purify the blood down to the platelets to the highest concentration possible. So when I adopted ACS for the hair, I was able to grab the same concentration of platelets, but I actually only had a very, very small amount of volume to work with. So how do you solve that? All you have to do is get more blood, which is absolutely safe to do. And you have to use multiple ACS kits to get enough volume for the hairs. And this higher concentration of platelets has been a significant improvement to the results I've been seeing in hair restoration. Before ACS, I would probably see results in about 60 to 70% of my PRP clients. And I would tell people, you need to do 4 sessions and then wait 6 months to see your full results. With ACS, it's a lot different. It's not uncommon that we see results after the first session. You don't have to wait that 6 months after the 4th session to really see what's going on. And that's really valuable because if I don't see results by the 3rd session ACS, I'm probably going to say, hey, you're a non-responder. Let's move on to another treatment that may optimize your hairs a little bit better. Okay, so next part's the numbing. This is like that 10 minutes of discomfort It tends to go pretty well. Once you're numb, then we have the ability to like just go to town with a PRP.
And should I expect any, is there anything I have to do after the procedure?
I'm gonna show you one thing. You could get a little swelling in the front.
Okay.
I'll show you how to massage it out. Because the key thing about the swelling is it moves down with gravity,
Okay.
and you want to push it away from the eyes. So you're gonna push it up and out.
Okay.
Right? Don't get on a plane.
And that will be just for like a day or two?
Yeah, you'll see it on the second day, not the first day.
Got it. Oh, so you do it all over the head, not just where the,
Yeah, no, we do it up front for your transplant, and we do it in the back to start working on this crown now.
Okay.
Remember I told you like how when you do a hair restoration, there's limited hair supply, and it's really hard to work on the crown, especially if you're a front hairline recession.
Mm-hmm.
And you're much better off doing the front. So on the back, we go to town with the PRPs, exosomes, the medical therapies, and we really. So this is that second phase of micros. Now working on the rest of the head. Oh, we should put on some music. In honor of this, Fleetwood Mac, right?
Do those rollers work?
Do this stuff first. This stuff is way more
Okay.
effective. The rollers, like when you have the microneedling,
Yeah.
when the follicles are possibly close to the surface, it worries me a little bit.
Okay.
Because they're not like the normal depth anymore, right? We took them out and put them back in.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you feel pretty numb?
Yeah.
Can you feel this?
What's that?
Do you feel these pokes?
I felt that one.
Let me get the PRP. Here we go. Some beautiful stuff. Let's take a look. All right, here we go, man. So top layer is a liquid, the plasma. This is essentially urine.
Urine?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, see, it's like literally what urine would look like. Your kidneys like filter out with this stuff. I mean, it's not pure urine,
Sweet.
but
Getting injected with pee.
and then there's the platelets. Are actually these are the cells.
Okay.
This little chamber between like increases the pressure so much the cells to stay down here, and that goes up there. That's what we want. This is just the fluid to transfer stuff in. So a lot of times you go like a med spa, you'll just get this stuff. You want to actually get the cells.
So what's the bottom? Just super concentrated blood?
Yeah, it's just cellular parts. So we just twist this up, and you can start seeing it start going to that chamber. You'll see in the middle. You'll see like the cells move up in there.
That's crazy.
See it coming up.
Oh yeah.
Right there. Boom.
Weird.
And we don't want too much red. We just take that, swirl it in, and it becomes like murky.
That's so
orange.
crazy.
So real PRP is like, looks dirty.
So is this later Fleetwood Mac?
Huh?
Their club era?
Oh, is this not it?
This is decidedly not it.
You know what? Let's take a break and check out who this Fleetwood Mac person is. Let's go Fleetwood Mac Wikipedia. Fleetwood Mac are a British rock band formed in London, so it's not even American or Indian. 1967. Here's their website, fleetwoodmac.com. Oh, website is broken. I'm gonna have to show these people are real. Let's go back. Oh, here's a song. Okay, so it's a girl. That's great. It's fine, whatever. Let's just play it and get on. Alright, see this little floaty thing in there?
Yeah.
Soon this is going to become a clot, and so we're going to form a heart attack inside this thing.
What do you mean?
I'll show you. But that's the beginning of the platelets releasing the growth factors. That's why this system's so much better than the other ones. It's like actually it's working. So
It's essentially a blood clot?
yeah, platelets are like they're injury cells. So you get a cut, the first thing you do is stop the bleeding.
So you're putting a blood clot in me?
Yeah. Okay. I feel like I need to correct myself here. Sometimes I say things and I jump a couple steps and I expect people to follow my thoughts. We are not injecting Jim with a heart attack or a clot. So this is what's going on. In that syringe, we have collected the platelets. Now, platelets are wound healing cells. When they go to a cut, the first thing they do is stop the bleeding by forming a clot. So in the syringe, those platelets have formed a clot, releasing their growth factors that allow us to regrow the hair. But a corollary is a heart attack. In your body, when you have a heart attack, the same exact process is happening. The platelets are getting stuck on the blood vessels in your heart, and they are activating and forming a clot. If that clot blocks that artery, that's what causes a heart attack. So we're not injecting Jim with a heart attack. There's not really a heart attack in that syringe. I just kind of missed a couple steps there to inform Jim. So we're going to get back to the procedure. Jim's going to be safe. There's nothing to worry about.
Are you doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel it.
Oh, you're numb. We're going to do. Yes, hopefully all these hairs are going to thicken up, get a little darker.
Oh, it even darkens them a little?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anytime, whenever your hair is thinning, it's also getting lighter.
Got it.
Not turning white, but like it's losing its color density in general. These hairs are still kind of thin.
Yeah.
And the hairs are in the back are naturally thicker. Just should come out thicker. All right, here we go. Here's a heart attack. This little thing right here, it's a clot.
Oh, so really?
If that formed in your heart, that would kill you.
Why'd that form in there?
It's the platelets. They're activated, so they form their clot, right?
That's
It's
crazy.
just like a wound. Now this left all their growth factors in this leftover serum. This is why the system is so good. Is that you can't see that in any other PRP system. Your body forms clots probably multiple times a day, like for like little injuries you have.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's just only dangerous because like your
Yeah.
heart or brain?
Yeah.
Wait, will you hold up the needle? I want to take a pic. Oh yeah.
Nice, all done. Let me clean it up.
Oh, that's it?
There you go, Jim.
Great, that was a breeze.
It's not too bad, right?
No.
I think a lot of people think that PRP just has to be bad. It doesn't really have to be. All right, so we're done with Jim's ACS treatment. He did phenomenal. Seems like he tolerated it just fine. And remember ACS, really lifestyle procedure. You can go back to work right afterwards. There's really no restriction. The only thing we tell you not to do is take anti-inflammatory medications because we're using inflammation to our advantage in the treatments. So I'm looking forward to seeing Jim's results. This treatment has really shown me that the non-surgical treatment of hair is a real thing in our future.
Did it come over? I can't even tell what he styled it like. Oh, thank you. Enjoy the champagne.
Been about 2 years, and just think about how much has changed since then. Looking back and starting with micro, that's the old device we had and how much that technique has evolved. And then looking back at Jim's hairline design, that's in the very early stages when we started thinking about the art side, designing hairlines and how well it's turned out to Jim, but to think where it's been today. But now to think, Jim is actually one of our key partners for our hair restoration. Most of our patients will meet with Jim after their procedure. Remember, he's a hairstylist, and after doing this himself, he's learned about products and how to style hair to make the most out of his results. And it's kind of crazy to think that the next level of innovation actually comes through our patients. And I think that this is one of the coolest parts about my job is this constant pursuit of making people happy, because at the end of the day, it makes myself and my team members happy as well.